Bertha Lewis, CEO of ACORN, with us. Now, the filmmaker went to, and I'm going to talk about him in a minute, but he went to, I understand, New York, Philadelphia, San Diego, Los Angeles, and possibly other locales. In each case, in each of those cities, agents were turned away. Baltimore and D.C., however, provided some assistance. But it was in Baltimore that the 2 employees were terminated. There were only 2 employees terminated in this whole affair.
No.
I'm sorry.
No. Let me just make sure that we set the record straight.
Okay, please.
It's the first tape started in Baltimore, and there were 2 people, having a conversation, which should never have taken place in our office. Then there was 1 woman in D.C., and then there were 2 women. These were housing folks. These were not ACORN people in New York, and 1 woman in San Bernardino who actually was trying to be as ridiculous as these other folks were. All of these folks, all of them, have been terminated.
Okay.
All of them. So altogether, we've terminated about 6 people.
About 6 people.
Out of 600.
Tell us a bit about these people. Were they just duped? Did they just not know what they were doing, or what?
Well, I think, and again, I'm not going to defend folks saying, that's too bad, so sad. But I mean, we are here to help folks, and we don't make judgments, and we listen to people. I think that people do have to use good judgment. I think it was so ridiculous because I think if these 2 actors, and I don't know about you, but the way I was brought up, that anybody that was actually a pimp and a hoe would not would not just walk up and say to a stranger, hey, this is what I do. I'm a prostitute. Going into an office full of black folks in a black neighborhood, and 2 white people walk in.
Yeah, and they claim to be a pimp and a hoe. Isn't that something? That just doesn't happen. Now tell us about the pimp and the hoe. Oh, is it James O'Keefe? Is that the filmmaker?
That's right.
Now, was he one of the people portrayed in the video? Was he the pimp?
He doesn't show himself. And when I say doctored and edited videos, sometimes you might have one of our folks, say, seems to be answering a question, but the question is put in as a voiceover from him. You never really see this guy, but he claims that he shot it and that he played the part of the pimp.
But we don't hear the actual question as it's being asked. It's a voiceover.
No, you hear a lot of voiceovers, and when people really look at these doctored films, when you look at this videography, you've got huge, big, blacked out places. If you're going to show an undercover tape, show it all. Show the parts where people told you to leave. Show the parts where people say, well, look, we really can't help you. Show the part where we say there's a 10-step process and, you really are going to have to present documentation. Show it all. Show the office that called the police on you. But, this does not suit the right wing nor Fox's purpose to show the real truth. I mean, it's rumor, it's innuendo, and this started, way back in the fall, if people remember. We were accused of stealing the election. We were even accused of plotting to steal the census. And once you tell a lie over and over again,
it becomes the truth, right?
When the conservative and right-wing echo chamber. But this is, people really ought to understand. This is a frightening situation in that we do have a return to McCarthyism, because right now ACORN is being vilified, and you might even get a call. Have you now, or have you ever been associated with ACORN.
Well, I hope
this is the kind of thing.
Yeah, well, they can call me. I'm associated right now. So y'all can save y'all a call. Yes, I'm associated. I'm talking to Bertha right now. Don't come for me. Now, as far as Bertha Lewis, CEO of ACORN, folks, quick calls, your questions for her. This is your opportunity now to ask her a question. I had several conservatives call my show too, Bertha. A couple of them called yesterday. What do you think about ACORN? All right, so Bertha's here. So, if you want to have a question, ask a question. James O'Keefe, the filmmaker, he has a history of targeting progressive organizations, doesn't he?
Ooh, how coincidental is that? Yes, he does. I think he targeted Planned Parenthood a little while back. And, this is not some sort of, young student journalist out to be on a crusade. This guy has an agenda.
Yeah.
He is a tool of the right and conservatives and far right-wingers. And when he sets out to do something, truth, he's not doing a documentary, and truth has no place. So he has quite a reputation. And I think, again, this speaks to the fact that Fox, the Republican Party, and the right-wingers would use someone like this.
What's the relationship, Bertha, between ACORN and President Obama, if there is one at all, directly or indirectly?
Let me just say, 20-some years ago, people try to say, oh, he worked for ACORN as a community organizer. Sadly, that is false. I wish he had worked for us, but he worked as a community organizer for another organization. 20-some years ago, as a young lawyer, there was a group of over 25 or so community organizations like ours who banded together because we wanted to enforce the motor voter law, And so I think, Obama was a part of a team of other young lawyers who took on that case pro bono. Wasn't that he worked directly for ACORN. He worked for this coalition, again, trying to make sure that poor people got the right to vote. And when he was a young organizer, this is now 25 years ago, I think he came in Chicago to a group of grassroots leaders, regular folks from a bunch of different organizations, and did some leadership development training. That's it.
That's it. That's extended relationship.
This, this thin, tenuous thread.
Yeah.
Did our members, like so many millions of Americans, endorse and support him in the last election? Yes. Do we support affordable health care? Yes.